Some surprises are sweet. Some are thoughtful. But some shake the very foundation of what you thought you knew. When I tell you that my birthday didn't just change my life but redefined what I believed about love, trust, and desire, I mean it. That night still feels like a dream, one that started with a knock at my door and ended with a truth I could never have imagined. It began like any other birthday. My phone buzzed with messages from friends, little notes that made me smile. Flowers arrived from an old college roommate, my mom called to sing to me in her slightly off-key voice, and I got a few small gifts. On the surface, everything looked normal. But underneath it, there was something off. A tension that I couldn't shake. Daniel, my husband, had been different for days. Not distant, not cold, but charged. His eyes lingered longer than usual when he looked at me, as if he was trying to memorize something. His touches were more deliberate, fingers grazing my skin in ways that felt heavier, more loaded than usual. His smile, normally easy and bright, was quieter, softer, like he was holding something back. "Tonight is special," he said more than once that week. "You're going to love your surprise." The way he said it, low, steady, filled with something unspoken, sent shivers through me every time. I laughed it off, but deep down, I felt my heart beat faster with every hint. By evening, I was restless. I hadn't been told where we were going or what I should expect. I chose a dress that hugged me just right, nothing flashy, just soft and simple, the kind of dress that draws eyes without needing to ask for attention. I was fastening my earrings when the doorbell rang. I thought it was flowers. Or maybe a last-minute delivery from Daniel. Instead, when I opened the door, I froze. It was Ethan, Daniel's best friend. He stood there with that calm, steady presence he always carried. "Happy birthday," he said, his voice low, his smile faint. But his eyes were different. They didn't carry the easy friendliness I was used to. There was a weight in them, something unspoken, something that made my stomach twist with nerves. Before I could respond, Daniel appeared behind me, his hand finding the small of my back like it belonged there. "Come in," he told Ethan, as if this was expected. As if this had been part of the plan all along. My pulse quickened. Inside, the living room was transformed. Candles flickered, casting golden shadows against the walls. Soft music filled the space, low and warm. It should have felt romantic, dreamy even. But instead, it felt almost staged. Like a scene carefully set for something I couldn't quite understand. Daniel's fingers brushed mine as he led me further in, each touch sending sparks racing through my skin. "What's going on?" I whispered. Ethan sat on the couch, quiet, his gaze locked on me. It didn't feel like curiosity. It felt like knowing. Like he was already aware of what was about to unfold, like this wasn't new for him. Daniel turned, his eyes catching mine. They were intense, steady. "I told you I had a surprise," he said. Then he leaned in, kissed me softly, slowly, his lips lingering just long enough to make my breath catch. When he pulled back, his voice was a whisper in my ear. "I know what you crave. I know what you've been too afraid to say out loud." My body froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I tried to speak, but no words came. He didn't explain further. Instead, he gave Ethan a look. A look that said everything without a single word. And Ethan stood. He crossed the room, his steps unhurried, his presence steady. When his hand brushed my arm, it was gentle, but my skin reacted instantly, heat rushing through me. His breath was warm against my cheek, close enough to feel but not quite touching. Daniel's voice cut through the silence. "Do you trust me?" I turned to him, my body trembling, my heart beating out of rhythm. And I nodded. "Then let go," he whispered. What followed wasn't wild or careless. It wasn't rushed. It was deliberate, slow, a kind of intimacy that went deeper than I thought possible. Every glance, every brush of skin, every breath seemed amplified, as though the air itself was charged with something more than desire, something sacred, almost dangerous. Daniel never left me. He was there, watching, guiding, his presence grounding me even as Ethan's touch pulled me into something uncharted. They knew me. Not just my body, but my fears, my fantasies, my longing for something beyond the ordinary. And for the first time, I felt it. The freedom of being seen completely, of not having to hold back or pretend. The fire between us burned slow but fierce, wrapping tighter with each moment until thought dissolved and all that remained was feeling. The night stretched endlessly. Candles burned low. Music faded into the background, replaced by the sound of laughter, whispers, soft breaths that carried more weight than words ever could. By the time morning crept through the blinds, I was different. I lay tangled in warmth, skin against skin, breath mingling with theirs. My body was still humming, my thoughts a blur. And beneath all of it, one truth pulsed steady and clear. I didn't regret it. I wanted more. Daniel's arm slipped around me, his fingertips tracing slow circles against my back. He leaned in, close enough that his words brushed against my skin like a promise. "This," he whispered, "is just the beginning." And in that quiet, fragile morning light, I believed him.